Hey, Force-E divers! This is Nicole,
Rachel,
and we are here at Facebook Live, and we are really excited because it is February. It is our travel month, and Rachel is our travel manager. And we have a lot of great trips planned, and we have a presentation about one of those fantastic trips. So make sure that you are plugged in tonight and get ready for a great presentation. Before we start, we want to say hello to you guys. So in the comment section, say hello to us. All right. Tell us where you're listening in from. We want to know. Also, make sure to hit that thumbs up emoji, that heart emoji, or that smiley face emoji. Let us know that you're listening in and that you're enjoying tonight's presentation. Another thing you want to do before 6:45, you want to go onto our website, go to www.force-e.com, go to the tab that says event, and click on it, find tonight's presentation, and register if you have not done so yet, because we are going to be raffling off at the end of this presentation the SDI digital kit for nitrox. And the reason why we're doing that is we want to encourage you guys to be nitrox certified when you go
to the Philippines. 5 dives a day. Need nitrox for that. Absolutely. So we also want to introduce a dear friend of mine, and she's also marketing and sales for Atlantis Dive Resort. Ronnie, say hey.
Hi.
Awesome. All right. So we've got people waving, saying hello to us.
Wait, Beach,
All
Buffalo.
Right.
Hey, Emily.
All right, guys, you know the drill. If you have any questions, go ahead and write it in the comments section, and we will answer it at the end. And Ronnie, it is your stage.
Super.
Take it over, girl.
Super. Well, hi, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are really, really excited to be sharing some information about the Philippines, and specifically about Force-E trip in November. And so this past October, I managed to drag Rachel there on to the Philippines to experience the magic that it is. And obviously she was convinced and said, oh, we have to bring these Force-E divers with us back to the Center of Biodiversity. And so I'd like to take probably around half an hour to just walk you through a little bit about the Philippines in general, diving in the Philippines, and the trip that we have planned with Force-E. And for that, I had prepared a beautiful presentation for you. If you have any questions, please write them in the chat so the girls can read them to me at the end of the presentation. Thank you. There are a couple of videos in this presentation, so I'm going to just play it and hopefully it actually works. So that was our video, general video for Atlantis, and there'll be a couple more videos for you to see as we move along in the presentation. So this is the Philippines. The most visible thing on this map is, of course, that everything is blue, 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 blue all over. And actually, we are in a meeting point we are 6 degrees off the equator, and we're at a meeting point of 2 major oceanic currents. So to the east coast, you can see the Pacific Ocean, where the next land is basically Central and South America. To the south, we have the Celebes Sea, and southwest is the Sulu Sea, home to Indonesia and Malaysia. And then to the west and the northwest, we have the West Philippine Sea or South China Sea, depending who you ask. So we are a meeting point of large bodies of water, and we are also the meeting point of 2 major oceanic currents, which is the North Pacific current, the North Equatorial Current, and the Pacific Current. What does this mean? It means that water rich in nutrients come from the open ocean, funneling through the islands of the Philippines and leaving the nutrients on our walls and sandy slopes, creating a very unique marine biodiversity. So the Philippines is an archipelago of 7,107 islands. It sounds like there are a lot of small islands, and people normally think that it's a small country. It is actually huge. If you put the entire landmass together, you will receive the size of Italy. It is a global hotspot for marine biodiversity, and it's located in the northwest side of the Coral Triangle. The Coral Triangle is basically an imaginary triangle covering 6 aquatic nations, one of which is the Philippines, and others are Indonesia, Malaysia, Fiji, Vanuatu. And we are home to over 75% of the reef-building coral species in the world, and 65% of the population or the species of the fish, 6 out of the 7 marine turtles, etc., etc. It's a habitat for feeding, breeding, and it's a massive migration zone for a lot of the animals that migrate through either the Pacific or just the Coral Triangle area, like a lot of tunas, dolphins, whale sharks, whales, barracudas, jacks, mantas, everything that goes through, you will see there. And actually, this marine biodiversity that we see in the Philippines, what it means for us as divers is that every time you put your head in the water, you're likely to see more species than anywhere else in the world. So if you're used to diving the Caribbean, multiply that, multiply the colors, multiply the species to come and see an insane marine biodiversity. I worked in the Caribbean. I worked in Honduras, Dominican Republic, and Mexico. And when I first went to Asia, it was to the Philippines 13 years ago, and I had never went back. The colors are astounding. And of course, dive conditions are very similar to what you guys enjoy in Florida, with nice and warm water and excellent visibility. But like I said, we have way more species of fish. So what are we doing? Where are we going? When are we doing this? So first of all, this will be a fall trip. So that will be November 1st through the 11th, which is basically 10 nights. And the where is right here on the map. So if you remember this map of the Philippines, we're going to 2 destinations. So we're splitting time between two different destinations. One of them is called Puerto Galera, and we'll talk about that in a minute. And the other one is called Dumaguete, which is in the southern part of the Philippines here in an area called the Visayas. So what happens? First, we are going to Puerto Galera, and specifically, we're going to Sabang Bay, which is that bay here in the photo. So Sabang Bay is located, or Puerto Galera is located in Mindoro Island. It's very close to Manila. So everybody land in Manila, and then we will take a transfer of an hour and a half by van, and then another half an hour by boat to reach to Puerto Galera. So once you've landed in Manila, everything else is kind of land and boat transfer. What makes this point so special is when you look at it in the context of the greater map, you will see that it is almost completely open. I'm going to remove the arrow so you can see it here. It's completely open to the West Philippine Sea, which means large bodies of water funnel through that passage between that huge island there called Luzon, which is this one where Manila is located, and this island called Mindoro. There is a passage that's called the Verde Passage. Verde in Spanish means green. So that green passage is where a lot of water funnels through the Philippines, creating incredible biodiversity in Puerto Galera. In general, in the Philippines, we have very, very healthy corals, no bleaching, no breakage. Our water temperature do vary year round. And so unlike you guys, especially in the Keys where rising water temperature is really damaging the reefs, we luckily don't have that problem. We also have 7 different species of nudibranchs. So that's almost half the species of the nudibranchs in the world. So if you dig nudibranchs, yeah, you're going to be right at home. We have incredible, interesting fish behavior. So we get a lot of juveniles. We get a lot of small aquatic species, different octopus, like the jawfish here with the babies in the mouth, different behavior. So the type of diving is very different. It's more observing kind of what's around you rather than fighting current and trying to get from one place to the other and covering lots of mileage. And we have a lot of bucket list animals like these guys, the mandarin fish. Our resort in Puerto Galera has 40 rooms. It's situated on a hillside right on the water. Actually, Porto Galera doesn't have a beach. It's got an esplanade, and then the resort is right across from the water. We are a dive resort. We have comfortable, yet super funky accommodation. It was built with an Ibizenian design, Mediterranean design in mind. However, everybody just calls it the Flintstone Resort. We have, of course, a pool and a spa and a bar called 50 Bar, which is in metric unit is 750 PSI, so low on air. And I'd like to show you kind of where all that magic is. And so what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to speak over the video, and I'm not sure it's going to work in terms of just a soundtrack. So let's see how it goes. Whoops. I hope so. I think so. Where everything, all the magic happens. There's the pool. This is the restaurant area. It's all an open area. You can see give it to any diver. And this, we're going to come back to that map. This is our retail center. This is how we do the briefings. You guys are right on the ocean, right? And then off we go using small speedboats. We go out to the Bay Area, basically 30 seconds to 5-minute boat ride. All of the dives are single tanks, which makes it super easy. Out and back, out and back. Everything you see in this video is just really, really standard dives. We can see this almost every dive. We do have also one wreck that lays at around 90 feet. Lots of colorful reef fish, lots of turtles. Yeah, if you're lucky, we're going to get the piling pool back right in the corner. And this is the Bay Area. There are actually no cars allowed in this area, so everything is pedestrian. Some of the rooms have massive private suites, private balconies. All the rooms have an outdoor area as well. The Force-E resort, with everything from biodegradable toiletries. Yeah, why you were there. So that's a restaurant area. In our trip, we have all the meals included, 3 meals a day, and you saw a little bit there with the menu. Every meal, lunch and dinner are 3-course chef meals, and you guys can actually select an appetizer, main, and dessert, and the menu changes every day, every meal. So after we spend 5 magical nights in Atlantis, Porto Galera, we are making that way back to Manila. So 30 minutes by boat, another hour and a half by car into Manila Airport to take an hour-long flight, which is actually on a proper airplane, not a little proper jet plane, to Darwin, or the closest city or the airport is called Dumaguete. Dumaguete is a very unique environment because we have black volcanic sand and very, very, very specific kind of diving. So this is where Negros Island is, and this is where we were in Mindoro. We're going to go back up to Manila and then catching the flight down to Dumaguete. And what's really fascinating about Atlantis, Dumaguete, and Dumaguete in general is that it's the mecca of critter diving, or what we call muck diving. So basically just diving and looking for tiny little interesting animals and their behavior. It's your chance to see very rare creatures like 7 different species of frogfish, including the hairy frogfish. Lots of octopus. We have 5 different species: the blue ring matoti, coconut octopus, wonderpuss, all these kind of weird stuff. Lots of ornagos, pipefish, lots of seahorses, pygmies, all the crazy little stuff. And we're also going to make a trip to this island here called Apo Island, which, as you can see from this aerial shot, has extensive and beautiful reefs. It's the first marine sanctuary in the Philippines that's a community-led project. And so you have incredibly healthy reefs with excellent visibility, a wall that's about 150 feet deep, and then a very shallow coral garden that you can see here to the left, which can be done literally snorkeling at 20 feet of water. Over 300 species of corals and 150 species of fish. This is our resort in Dumaguete. So if Porto Galera was this funky little town and the resort is in the middle of everything, Dumaguete is a secluded beach resort overlooking the east side. So we get really beautiful sunrises like you can see here in the photo. Very newly renovated accommodations, basically very, very spacious walk-in closet, massive shower. And same operation and same structure like the one in Porto Galera with a waterfall pool and of course a spa. Just so you get an idea, a 90-minute massage is about $35. So yeah, I think you're gonna spend some time at the spa. I know I always do. And I want to take you through the video of Dumaguete. So as you can see here, that it's a very, very secluded beach resort. This is the bay where we're located. Here are the dive boats, same like in Atlantis, Porto Galera. We dive off speedboat, 5 guided boat dives per day. We'll get to that in a minute. This is the resort. It's basically it's a jungle. It's a crazy jungle with pineapple and different ginger types and orchids falling off trees and papayas and banana trees and a big avatar tree. These are our accommodations. And of course, we've got this volcanic rock in the shower. It's really a serenity. Um, our dining area in Porto Galera is actually right on the water. This is typical food for us. This is the dive center. Tanks, ding, and yoke. So you can choose. We have adapters. And these are called bunker boats, guys. This is the traditional boats from the Philippines. So those are the ones we use when we go out to the islands to do day trips, like the one we're going to do in Apo Island. So Apo Island is very different from coastal diving because it is more wide angle. So coral, coral, coral. So in November, what you can expect is around water at 79 degrees, 79 to 81. Visibility will be, I don't know, minimum 60 feet, if not 80 and up. All right. So this is the coral garden of Apo Island, basically sitting at 20 feet of water. Massive coral tables, lots of turtles, lots of banded sea crates, lots of tropical fish, and just excellent visibility. Normally, we don't get crazy currents. By and large, depending on the phases of the moon, it's very relaxed kind of diving. Then coastal diving is very different off island because it's not a big blue, it's not a wall. We get a lot of critters that live in the sand, like the spotted stingray, to 5 different species of anemones, all sorts of blues and small reef fish, lots of mantis shrimp to keep off the steering end from here. This is an orangutan crab on the bubble anemone. This is the jawfish with the babies. Like I said, everything we dive very, very slow and watch cool stuff, just cool stuff. Ornate ghost pipefish. And sometimes see them with their robust scorpion fish, right? Lots of frogfish, seahorses, pygmies as well. This is Sean the sheep, nudibranch. And bigger nudibranchs. There's some nudie porn for you with the emperor shrimp right here. Flamboyant cuttlefish, hunting, walking, mating. Yeah, all sorts of, like I said, behavioral attributes. 5 different species of octopus, including the blue ring and the matoti. And that's a bobtail squid that's about the size of a fingernail. And of course, the banded sea crate. So just incredible marine biodiversity, guys. And all of these videos are actually on our YouTube channel. If you want to learn some more, just go to Atlantis Dive Resorts channel. It's called Atlantis Dive Resorts on YouTube. And you can see heaps of more videos, especially with regards to marine life and what you can see in the different locations. So who we are and what we do, what is the Atlantis difference, and why these folks up at Force-E decided to choose us to host you guys when you go diving the incredible biodiversity of the Philippines. That's because we are dedicated dive resorts. 95% of our guests are divers. It's not a resort that offers diving and yoga and tree hugging and whatnot. It's a dive resort because we offer 5 guided single tanks boat dives per day. So 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, 1 night dive each day, every day. There's no minimum for the boat to go. You don't have to decide in the morning. I mean, you want to go diving, you know what the times are. You're at the dive shop. It's VIP kind of diving. So you don't mount your gear, you don't wash your gear, you don't do anything except for analyze tanks, mask and fins, and your camera if you've got one, and off to the boat. Our dive groups are a maximum ratio of 1 to 6, so 1 dive guide to 6 divers. All of our guides are local, which gives them a massive advantage of working on those beaches for a really long time. Literally, people would come up with like a wish list of what they want to see. And of course, what do you know? The guys kind of know where the habitats are. And if it's feasible and possible to see, you're very likely to see things on your wish list. All of our dive sites are located 1 to 10 minutes away by boat. And here is why, guys. So this is a map of Atlantis Dive Resort in Porto Galera. You see where the A is, that's Atlantis. And what you're seeing around are 27 dive spots, 30 seconds to 5 minutes by boat. Okay, that's unbeatable. And that's the same thing in Darwin. Here we only have 18 on coastal. And then, of course, we've got a day that we dive up in Apo Island. So we're going to do 2 dive trips, day trips while we're out there. One is to dive Verde Island off Porto Galera, and that's a day trip where we do 3 dives out. And in Darwin, we're going to go to Apo Island. And again, same thing, 3 dives out. We have dedicated camera rooms in both resorts. We also offer fluoro diving and blackwater diving for those who are really interested. And we have mouth-watering cuisine. Guys, honestly, one of the things that are probably a disadvantage in a way in the Philippines is that the local cuisine is not as rich as Southeast Asian countries where you have all the curries and the different herbs and just different flavors. In the Philippines, especially if you're vegetarian or vegan, so it could be a little bit challenging, okay? Other than that, there's a lot of pork, lots of fish, lots of seafood, obviously just what's around you. And then, interestingly enough, there's Spanish influences. So we get traditional dishes like ceviche, which is called kinilaw in the Philippines. We get the adobo, which is like a red spicy sauce that actually comes from Spain. So Philippines is very different in its cuisine than the rest of the Southeast Asian countries. We do have an international cuisine with a local flair. As you can see, most of our dishes are very nice presentation. And if you have any dietary requirements, please let us know. And that's not a problem. We can cater to all of those. Our diverse menu changes every meal. Isn't it crazy we have 2 slides about food? Because food is a really important thing in Atlantis. And I have to say, we all know this, that the army marches on its stomach. So do we divers, right? So you want to be properly fed to have the energy in you to dive 5 dives a day. So our breakfast menu is actually not a buffet. Nothing's a buffet. Sometimes we do hold buffets depending on the different cuisines that we have to offer, but then it's more geared to specific offering, like a Filipino menu night and things like that, because we want you to try the local cuisine. Our breakfast menu basically changes every day, every meal. You've got 22 different items that you can order from, and we make everything in-house. And really pride ourselves on 5-star service. This is not some tagline that we say, and actually Rachel can probably speak to that. This is really a place with large attention to details and to making sure that all the components of your dive trip are perfect. So your mind is free and set to go explore the incredible biodiversity of the Philippines. So that is it. We are all waiting for you. We're waiting for you to come and join us in November. It's got a really fun group, and I believe there's a couple of spots left because Rachel's done such a great job telling everybody how amazing it is. If you are wondering about entry requirements, right? We're still kind of like in the clouds, in the aftermath of COVID. So if you've got 2 shots or one Johnson and 2 everybody else, there's no worries. You don't need anything to get in. If you're not vaccinated, not a problem. You need to do an antigen 24 hours before departure. Obviously, with a negative result, you can enter the Philippines. So there we are, waiting for you at a dive vacation of a lifetime. And our slogan is arrive as a guest, leave as a friend. I will open now the stage for questions. And if there's any that are basically from there. Oh, there you go. There's some nice faces. Hi.
Awesome. All right. Well, I think you've definitely made people want to go diving.
Give her a round of applause. Excellent presentation. That was like everything I saw in the Philippines. It was beautiful. That's really, really awesome. Thank you so much, Ronnie. Great. We did have a couple of questions earlier. If we scroll up a little bit.
Sure.
Okay, so we're asking about the food. Is the food and meal served at Atlantis classic Filipino food like lechon? Yeah, I think you had kind of already gone over. Yeah, you have very, very diverse food, and they accommodate everything, whether you're vegan or you only dairy free or you're meat free, whatever it is, gluten free. They are really, really good about accommodating you for anything that you want. And if you're not into the, typical dish that everyone's doing, they have like a stir fry area where you could just, pick what you want in it, and they kind of stir fry walk it up, and then you could have something different if you don't want that.
And then another question that we were talking about the Blackwater dive.
Yep.
You did that dive. That was your first time
doing it. It was actually my first Blackwater dive, and it was really awesome. I had never seen these really cool little creatures and all these little amateur animals come up to like 20, 30 feet. Really, really great for photography. It was so cool.
But how do you guys conduct the Blackwater dives? Because I know there's different areas that have different ways that they do those.
So what we do is, first of all, you have to sign up ahead of time. And so I do recommend that if somebody wants to do it, do let us know. We only take 4 divers. That's it. So you got quite a big group, and you're coming at a time where we have other groups at the resort. So definitely give us a heads up if that's something that you want to do. So basically what we do is we go out with the boat, and we have a rig that's got really strong video lights on it. And then we take it down to the water, and then the video lights are at 12 meters, 9 meters, and 6 meters. I have to think about that in feet.
Yeah, it was 30, 20, and
30, 20, and 10-ish. Yep. Right? And then we just kind of throw it in the water and wait. And so we sit and wait. We wait about 15 minutes, and then we go in, because what happens is that light attracts all the little critters. So what's different about Blackwater diving is that you have a lot of juveniles and larval phases of fish in the fish life and the fish life cycle. And during the night, they would come up to the surface to feed, because obviously it's darker and they can avoid predators. And that normally happens over very deep water. So it's not over 20 feet of water. You have to do it over at least 100 feet. So because what they do is that they travel with the currents, right? Larval stage can travel up to 120 kilometers off the place where it was conceived. So it just goes along with the current. And what happens at night is up they go. So the first thing you see when we go down there is like a lot of these jellies with lights and all this kind of weird looking, just jellies, weird looking jellies and worms and all this kind of stuff. And then slowly you start getting all the juveniles.
We saw a really cool, weird little sea robin, a baby sea robin. That was really wild. Baby lionfish, all kinds of cool stuff.
Mm-hmm. And a baby snake eel.
Yep.
What's the I guess the chance that someone might see a whale shark over here at your
We're going.
You're definitely going to see a whale shark, because the last day of the trip, we're actually going to go snorkeling in Oslo, where whale sharks are year round, and it is guaranteed. So they're throwing krill in the water 3 hours a day, and you will then swim between 6 to 12 whale sharks around you, probably around a foot away from you.
Yep, we saw 11 different whale sharks when we were there.
And
pretty wild.
Do you do that on scuba or snorkel?
Just snorkel. You could do it on scuba, but there's really no need. They stay on the surface pretty much. So you're like hanging out on the surface, getting good photos and videos, and possibly getting rammed by a whale shark. So make sure you watch your back.
What are some of the gear requirements that we should bring? Do we have to have safety sausages, signaling devices?
Nah, the diving over there. I mean, look, safety sausages is always recommended, but we dive as guided groups. So if we do lose a diver, we will all do a 1-minute search and then surface. So this is not Red Sea or Cozumel or these places where you can just rock off on your own and shoot up all over the place and the boat will get you. It's not that. We dive as a group. So, I mean, it's good to have a sausage, not a problem. But yeah, I would say people always think it's really warm because it's the Philippines, but you guys are from Florida, so I don't have to explain to you that you understand that being underwater for 5 hours a day, you can get really, really cold. So I'm a tropical wuss. I dive a 5 mil and a 7 mil hood. If you tend to get cold, bring a 5 mil if you're right, and do bring a long wetsuit, just because there's all these like the feather dusters. Ugh, and they're all over the place. And you could just, accidentally touch a fire coral or whatever, just have some sort of a protection, right, for your body. I think that's wise. If you, like I said, if you do tend to get cold, bring a chicken vest, bring a hood just in case. Definitely bring reef safe sunscreen, right? A rash guard, a hat and sunglasses, although it is short boat rides, but you are very, very close to the equator. So the sun is super strong. Okay, people kind of forget that and then burn. Bug spray.
Which we're gonna do.
Bug spray, yeah, definitely. There are bugs. You are in the tropics. You are going to get.
We didn't really get bit. We didn't really
it
have
wasn't
any.
that bad. Yeah, it's not that bad.
Depends to the time if it rains and things like that.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. But just have it just in case. I mean, yeah, especially if you use the natural stuff.
What about what were some land excursions like what we did last time? We might do like waterfall day.
Yes, so we've got a few excursions that we can do in Dumaguete, but they're up in the mountain. So if you do want to go up there, you cannot dive 24 hours before because it is actually at altitude. So you'd have to skip a dive day to go do that. But it's up to you. Yeah, there's hot springs and waterfalls. There's a city tour we could do. There's heaps of stuff just to kind of see other. And honestly, in Dumaguete, wake up and just walk on the beach in the morning. That's, you get the great views of the volcano in the background. And it's, yeah. So that we can definitely do. Again, like I said, you're going to have to calculate that 24 hours. There's also an excursion we could do in Porto Galera the last afternoon. If people wanted to, is go to these falls. The water's, I mean, for me, is super cold, but it's just a waterfall that goes, and then they built with a volcanic rock, just build a pool. So it's all natural flowing water, and then you kind of swim. You got to sit in those pools, and it's a nice scenery.
And we have a lot of people who are underwater photographers, but they love to do above photography. Some of them love to do drones. Are drones allowed over in the Philippines? Do we need to have any kind of permits to fly them?
No, some areas don't allow them just because of birds and stuff. But by and large, not really. No.
Okay. I'm actually going to bring in our website, the Force-E website, because I've got some questions now that you and Rachel can help answer about the specific trip that Rachel has planned. So I'm going to go ahead, and if you guys go to our website, you come over to the tab and you go diving, go to travel, and scroll down, and there's that Philippines trip right there. So I'm going to go here for the go with more info so that you can see what the trip entails. And the the question was, what was the trip dates? So for that one, the trip dates are
November 1st to the 11th.
Okay.
But the flight logistics are a little bit different. Ronnie, correct? You're going to want to be leaving, if you're leaving out of Florida, on the 30th of October, correct?
Yeah, so depending on what route you go, actually from Florida, a more upscale but nice connection would be to go from Miami to Doha with Qatar and then fly to Manila. That's one option. The other option is to try to go either to LA or San Francisco, and then take Philippine Airlines, which is an 11 p.m. departure that lands 2 days later at 4:30 a.m. So look, guys, you're going to need to be in Manila at 7:30 a.m. on November 1st. Okay, that's when we plan to pick you guys up. So few options. If you do take the Philippine Airlines flight, which are direct from LAX or San Francisco, and you do land at 4:30, not a problem. You land, and then we pick you up when you land, and off we go to Puerto Galera, because it's just a van transfer. Otherwise, if you arrive the night before, let Rachel know, and we can work out a hotel for you in Manila. It's a great hotel. It's 4 stars. It's a business hotel. It's right by the airport. You land, especially if you land in Terminal 3, it's literally a walking bridge. So super easy to get to. We do that, and then in the morning we pick you up. So what you want to make sure is that you're in Manila 7:30 by 7:30 a.m. So not landing at 7:30, like as in landing at 4:35, and 7:30 a.m. is when we're going to leave Manila to go to Puerto Galera. So,
and we'll help you with that as far as the flight.
Absolutely.
We'll get our flights together. We already are actually looking at flights right now for the November trip. We have a couple different options, but we'll do that so we're all on the same flight together, so everyone understands.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. And then some people wanted to just go over the itinerary. So we've got 5 nights. We start at 5 nights at Puerto Galera. Okay.
We do a day trip to Verde Island, where she was saying within those 5 days, which is really excellent. And then we take an hour flight over to Dumaguete, and that's like Blue Heron Bridge on steroids. It's really wild. And then you get some more diversity going to Apo Island, which was one of my favorites, was seeing all the crazy structure and reef, just like at Verde Island. It was just unbelievable. So you get so many different types of dives. At first, when I heard 5 dives a day, I thought it might even be too much for me, even though I dive a lot. I did almost every single day 5 dives, because it was just so incredible, and you never saw the same thing twice. It was always different nudibranchs. The whale sharks were insane. When we do the Oslob within the 5 days, the last few days, that's really incredible. So this is a very diverse trip that I've personally done myself, and we kind of catered the trip to all of the highlights of my trip, so I know you guys will have an excellent time.
Awesome. And remember,
there is a question. Oh, sorry. There was a delay there.
Yeah, it's okay.
Can we bring our family?
So they're asking about the grouping. And so these are all priced off of double occupancy. However, we do have options for single occupancy. And also, if you have people in your group that are not divers, how do you guys handle those?
There's a non-diver rate, which basically I think, Rachel, you should have. And you need to, as a non-diver, you can definitely bring your family. Absolutely not a problem. Remember, we have a pool and a spa. And Dumaguete is super appropriate also for young children, because they could just run around on the beach. Not so much in Puerto Galera, because there is no beach. It's an esplanade. But what you need to decide is what kind of trips you're going to take as a non-diver. So basically, you can go and you can snorkel. Okay, you can snorkel Verde Island, not so much, but Apo Island definitely, and the whale shark excursion. So you need to decide, like, if your family member is a non-diver, is it a non-diver that would go snorkeling or wouldn't go snorkeling? Because that's different.
Okay, awesome. And also part of the package is that nitrox is included, right?
Yep.
Woohoo! So guys, if you are not nitrox certified, you can definitely contact any of the dive centers, Force-E dive centers, and get certified before the trip. And we are going to be giving away, we've got a couple of people's names that registered for tonight. We have a SDI nitrox digital kit to give away, so that way it gets you started into getting that certification. So it's just the digital kit, and if you take that and do the online academics, then you come in and talk to one of our instructors and pay to do the in-person course, in the instruction class. And so then we'll get you certified. So it's literally a few hours, and then you get to have that certification, and you're going to use that on this trip. So I'm going to go ahead and find our random name picker, and there's everyone's names. Whoop. So let's go ahead and pick our winner. And the result is Randall Friesen. Actually, he's been commenting a whole lot during the presentation. Randall, I'm pretty sure you're already certified nitrox. So what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to give you some nitrox fills to Force-E. Let me pick another winner just because I want to get somebody who is going to use this. So let's see. Joe, I think you're certified too. Nitrox. Let's try it. Third time's a charm. Joe will give you some nitrox fills too. All right, here we go. Let's see. All right, Edward. Sorry, Edward, I do not know you, but
I do. He's totally nitrox certified.
he's nitrox.
It looks like everybody's nitrox certified.
All right, let's try it again.
Okay, I don't know.
We don't know Kelly. All right, Kelly, you're gonna get the nitrox course, digital course. So
if not, we'll give you some bills.
Yeah.
I also
look at all these people. All these people. We are, Randy. We're giving it to someone else. We're gonna give you guys some nitrox fills that you can use at Force-E. But again, if you come on that trip, you're gonna use nitrox primarily for the trip.
Yeah. Hey guys, there's two questions. There's two questions here that I just saw. So Eddie wrote that he's looking forward to the Atlantis Azores presentation. So yeah, Eddie, just hold on tight. Rachel's got a trip in 2025, which is on Atlantis Azores. And so I think once they open that trip, we will make a presentation about that.
Okay.
Right.
I also want to mention too, I saw in there where someone was asking how many spots are in this group trip and how many are left. I have about 20 right now, and I have about 5 left, maybe 4 left. I have to double check my numbers, but I only have a few spots left. So if you're interested in going on this trip, you can either give me a call or you can sign up online. I would love to have you guys join us. It's going to be an excellent trip.
All right. Well, guys, I think that's it for the questions. Ronnie, fantastic presentation. If anybody has any questions, you can always contact her or go to our Boynton store and
talk to Rachel. She'll tell you everything.
Yep. So you can come to our Boynton store. That's where Rachel's out of, or you can email her at rachel@force-e.com, and you can go to our website and you can find the trip details there. So guys, we hope to see you. All right.
Bye,
thank
guys.
you. Thanks for tuning in.